Hello again everybody and welcome back to another character concept Let's Play episode featuring Araelas, the Druid Archer. Okay, so before we get started with the recap of the last episode and what we're going to be doing for this episode, I want to do a quick little mod talk about a recently added mod and a little workaround that I just discovered. And we also have a new companion. I'll talk about him in a bit too. But here we are back at Broken Helm Hollow. You may recognize this from our first bounty that we completed for the steward at Riften. And if you remember, in that episode, we had a bit of a hard time with lighting, especially because we were in werewolf form. We couldn't use our torchbug lantern there, so we just kind of had to feel around in the dark and swat around blindly and hope we weren't hitting our animal companion. But let's go ahead and show off what we have now. So I went ahead and installed Predator Vision as recommended by Jaren Scotland, I believe. It is a mod that I've used a lot in the past, but I could never get it to work with in E&B, at least the night vision part of it. Predator Vision part always worked, this part of it, because it just makes heat signatures kind of glow. But it was the night vision part that I always had the problem with. And that was because E&B always overrode whatever it was the night vision was doing to brighten everything up. I did come across a solution for this on YouTube, and I'll post the link for that down below, just to cite my work here. But the concept is really simple. Basically, all you have to do is go into the Shift-Enter ENB configuration screen here, go to the Input section, and switch your key combination to 0, no key. And then for the key use effect shortcut, just choose the key that that you would have chosen, or that actually controls night vision through Predator Vision. In my case, it's Z right now, but you can set it to whatever you want. And then also make sure to save your configuration right here when you're done with it. Otherwise, it won't stick beyond this session. And that's really it. Basically, all that does is it disables the E and B as it enables night vision. Super simple, right? I'm kind of upset I didn't think of it on my own sooner. But yeah, so when you use the Predator Vision hotkey, it disables ENB and it brightens everything up. Pretty cool, huh? I like it, and then it goes back to normal, and then you still have use of your Predator Vision through it too. One thing I haven't seen yet is what Predator Vision looks like in night vision. Ooh. Alright, well, that might become useful at some point, but so yeah, and obviously in Human Zone, we have use of our lantern that helps out in the dark areas a lot, but in beast form, we do not have that luxury. However, these hotkeys still remain active in beast form, so now we have night vision that we can use. Ah, so much better, right? Yeah, I'm a happy camper now. This gives us a lighting solution while we're in beast form. Otherwise, you know, navigating around these darker dungeons would have been nearly impossible. So there you have it. That kind of adds some more viability to this beast form druidic ability that we've been gifted. We can use it a little bit more now, I think. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and move on with this episode. I think that does it for our little mod talk there. Let me go ahead and load my save here. Okay, so what did we do in the last episode? The last episode was a big one. It was a long one. It featured a really long dungeon crawl Um, and kind of presented. Oh, before we move on, sometimes your hotkeys will become out of sync. So if the ENB is already deactivated, and then you try to activate night vision, all it's going to do is reactivate the ENB, and you're not going to get night vision. So the way that you sync that back up is you enter the console, and then you hit your hotkey. That enables the ENB, and then you're back in business here. Simple enough. Okay, so where were we? Last episode. It was a long one, but it was a cool one. I enjoyed it. There was a bit more of a story to this place than there is in most places. And the way that it was presented was that sometimes the most intense of loves are the most easily corruptible. And in this case, it was Lua Alskaven's intense love for her husband and the overwhelming heartbreak that she felt when he fell in battle as part of the Imperial Legion that led her to become a powerful necromancer hell-bent on raising an undead army and kind of wiping out the continent of Tamriel. So we did a big service for not only the forest and the aspect of the forest, but also for Tamriel and Nirn itself. So Araelas feels pretty good about that. The Spriggan over here, the aspect of the forest, was quite pleased with the results as well. But since that was a Spriggan mission, this is going to be a bounty mission. We're still exploring the duality of Araelas as a hunter and as a druid. Last episode we explored his druidic side quite a bit. We explored a lot of the new spells that he got, that he unlocked when he turned level 10. And I think a lot of them ended up being very effective, and definitely looking forward to using those in the future. But I think now, since we have a bounty over here at Ruins of Bthalft, which is a Dwarven ruin, it is not a dungeon. It's just on the surface. We're going to have a lot of open air to work with here, and it's been a while since we stretched our beast legs. So I think we're going to do this in beast form. Just because I want to explore that a little further. The beast form is a very a druidic a trait, I believe. It's a very druidic part of this character, and I would like to strengthen that up as well. So we do have some leveling to do there. I don't want the beast form to lag too far behind where we are in normal form. So I think we're going to be doing that. Yeah. So I think that's it. How about we get to it, huh? Now, when Araelas changes into beast form, he doesn't have the blood rage that a lot... Oh, I think these are the bandits that we were trying to chase anyway. There they are. That was an easy bounty, huh? He doesn't have the blood rage that a lot of werewolves experience, where they just go around and kind of mindlessly kill everything in front of them. There was another bandit over here, wasn't there? I killed the one, the bear killed the other one. Ah, there we go. I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry. It's gone. Yeah, so the blood rage. Araelas doesn't kind of lose his wherewithal when he's in beast form. He's still very much in control. There's another archer over here that's peppering us with arrows, and our bear killed him. There he is. He's still very much in control. He's very much himself. But he does feel invigorated in this form. he feels a little closer to nature. He feels the energy and the strength that the beast form gives him. So he tends to be just a bit more aggressive and violent because of that. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get in there. But he's still in control of everything. But now that he's invigorated, he kind of wants to explore the forest a little bit as one of its more natural denizens. He likes the way that the sun feels on his fur. He likes the way the air rushes into his beast lungs through his snout, and he just loves the pure exhilaration of the speed and power that he gets by just running through the wilds. Oh. Now, while Araelas is in control, other people don't really take kindly to werewolves too much. So they're going to attack him on sight, much like they would any other predator. And now we're kind of understanding the dead hunters and the dead stormcloaks around Autumn Shade Clearing, I think. It may have not so much been the aspect of the forest itself being overly aggressive, but maybe the Stormcloaks and the Hunters just attacking something that they saw as a threat automatically, without consideration. So part of this is just self-defense. But part of this is also just being angry at the sheer aggression of these soldiers, of something that is actually largely benevolent. Which kind of puts the perspective of the aspect of the forest. It gives us a little more insight into how these Spriggans feel about people chopping up the trees and hunters poaching animals. You can see how they'd be defensive and aggressive about it. And this guy just refuses to die. So I think there are a few more meals around here, right? Have I eaten enough to level up yet? Yeah, here we go. Okay, we'll just see what else we can loot here before we move on. No, we're not going to steal anything. Most loot is useless to us if we can't sell it, so we're gonna avoid stealing stuff. I think that about does it. Yeah, so this all started as a bounty, right? Oh boy. Whoa, almost killed our own dude, huh? Okay. So yeah, this all started as a bounty. And I think I mentioned last episode that Araelas' attitude toward bounties is going to change a little bit, and maybe not in the expected way. So I think we're going to explore that a little bit. But I want to explore that back in Riften, because that's part of the hunter side of Araelas' duality. And as a hunter, that's how he feels valued as a part of society, and maybe not so much nature. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and revert forms here. Oh, there we go. Okay, and I'm going to head back to Riften, and I will see you guys there. Okay, sorry, no, still not in Riften. But I did realize that I forgot to talk about our new animal companion here. So Araelas finally was able to deal with the crotch sniffing problem that he had with the wolf in the best way he knew possible, and it's largely the way you deal with the problem in real life. You trade your dog in for a bear. Not really. So this here is his new companion. He tends to stay out of trouble a little more just because he's too big to kind of follow Araelas down the more narrow corridors. Which means he gets hung up on the terrain a little more, which is actually a good thing in our case. In that last Anselvund dungeon crawl, not a lot of it was on camera, but through a lot of the playtesting and behind the scenes stuff, he was causing lots and lots of issues. There were times where he would be able to go backwards through some of the cavernous areas and just alert everybody on his way back to me. Just kind of ruining the entire staging of the sneak attacks and the magic that I was trying to showcase. So this is good. The other thing that is good about the bear is that he's a little tankier. He's got a much larger health pool. He does more melee damage as well, so it's just an upgrade all over, I think. I haven't named him yet. I'm thinking Baloo, maybe, from the Jungle Book, just because as kind of a hunter survivalist, Araelas is all about the bare necessities. God, I hate myself sometimes. Alright. Riften ho. I'll see you there. Okay, so we still aren't in Riften, obviously. We got there just way too late. So we decided to head back to camp at Autumn Shade and level up. So speaking of this level up, I don't know if you noticed back when we were in werewolf form, back at the Dwarven ruins for the bounty, but it looks like Okado's recital also triggers while you're in beast form, which is great. So we had the benefit of the stone flesh and the added 60 armor rating while we were running around clawing folks to death. So that's cool, and that when that stone flesh triggered through Okado's recital during those battles, we actually got enough of an alteration skill boost that we got enough to level up. So yeah, I think we had one more level to take stamina, so we'll take that. And then I think I would like to go back to archery, since this is largely an archery build, and start putting some more points into here. So I think I'm going to do steady hand. That's going to help with the hunting a little bit, but more importantly, it's going to unlock Hunter's Discipline, and it will also unlock the next rank of this skill, which slows time while you're zooming in, which comes at level 60. So this isn't going to give us a huge amount of usability right away, but we're going to need it a little bit going forward. And if we're going to start using upgraded arrows a little bit more in the future, getting more of them back is only going to be a good thing. So yeah, we're looking forward to Hunter's Discipline, which would be nice to have. Not really a requirement, not a game changer. The second rank of Steady Hand is definitely going to be a game changer. That time slow is going to be a huge thing for us. and actually a big part of this build since we do a lot of short-range bow fighting. And then looking forward to level 50 in archery. Ranger is a good one. You can move at full speed with a drawn bow, which is awesome against other ranged opponents. Quick shot is also, oh, that's level 60. So level 50, this is the big one here that we're looking forward to. Ranger, but quick shot is also huge for short-ranged bow fighting. Just because you can get more arrows out faster. So that is the short-term goal there. We also we have a lot more that we can do in light armor, sneak, and of course restoration and alteration. But I think, oh yeah, and obviously smithing. I'll probably want to take the Merrick smithing perk to be able to start crafting elven arrows soon too. That will be huge for us. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of get that level up recorded and get that into the video. We're going to go ahead and rest for the night, and then I'll meet you back in Riften for real this time. Okay, so here we are in Riften. Oh, hey Baloo. I love you too. Well, at least his nose isn't at crotch level, it's at chest level, so it's a little more affectionate than annoying. So yeah, here we are at Riften. We finally made it, and we're going to go ahead and turn in our bounty. And as I mentioned before, Araelas measures his value to society based on what he can offer as a hunter, and in this case, a bounty hunter. And at first, he took great pride in what he did because the bounties that he was taking were making the world a safer place. They were getting rid of evil. He was doing a service to society. And being kind of an outcast or a hermit, somebody who prefers to be outdoors amongst the trees instead of in a city like this, it made him feel stronger about, more strongly about his role as a hunter in society, because he had less ties to society, so the ones that he does have feel stronger. But now that pride seems to be corrupting his aims a little bit. He's starting to take on these bounties because he likes the status that it affords him. He likes being praised and admired by people in high places. So we're going to find a Nuriel here. He's starting to get...
Araelas houseguard. I would ask that you maintain respectable distance from them at all times.
Of course. He's starting to...
As Riften's steward, excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is your reward.
Okay, up to 850 now, so that's good. He's starting to make a name for himself as far as an effective bounty hunter that can get things done. And kind of someone who is able to cleanse the rift for the more honest people that live here. So I wouldn't necessarily call it hubris because he is very capable. He doesn't believe that he is any better than he actually is, but his head is swelling a bit, I think, as he earns praise from the steward and the people of the Jarl's court here. And he can also... people start to look at him in the market as he passes. And he likes that. Aside from that... Hey.
You're a stranger here too, huh?
Not exactly. You don't know who I am? I just took care of a bunch of bandits out in the west. I pretty much saved all your lives. I pretty much do it constantly. Ha!
Yes?
Beyond that, I think that he's starting to have an unhealthy association between an overinflated sense of self-worth
What is it? What's the matter?
and killing people.
It's Bercy. He's getting
He is enjoying this hunting thing, even if it's hunting people, hunting animals for kine,
If I see
hunting for bounty, hunting for gold and fortune. He's starting to like it. And therefore, it's not coming out of a place of love anymore, but as a place of pride and personal gain. And I think that this subconscious feeling might cause conflicts between him and the aspect of the forest, which I think we'll explore later. But for right now, if we were saying that Araelas' druid side is the light side, and his hunter side is the dark side, I feel like the dark side is growing a little bit. The light side was very prevalent for a long time. It still is a very big part of his life and a part of his internal conflict, but this dark hunter side, this dark killer side, is really growing strong. And I don't think the forest, or at least the aspect of the forest, is going to take too kindly to that. And I don't know that Araelas is going to take too kindly to the aspect not taking kindly to it. So I think we will see a little bit of that in the next episode, which will have us doing another mission, perhaps the last mission for a while, for the aspect of the forest here in Autumnshade Clearing. There's one more piece of business, one more piece of darkness that they want us to kind of cleanse out a little bit, and we will talk more about that later. But for now, we have concluded yet.
How can I assist?
Oh, another adoring fan.
Beautiful baubles and gleaming
Bounty hunter groupie over there, I suppose. But yeah, we've completed another bounty for Riften, and for the Rift, and Araelas feels pretty good about that. We also got to stretch our werewolf legs a little bit, which was fun. I hope to do that fairly regularly, mix those in with the regular hunter bounties and the more druid spell dungeon clears. Eventually I'm going to try to find a good mix of all three of those aspects and kind of get those all entwined into more of a fluid gameplay style, but we still have a lot more leveling up, and I have a lot more practice to do before I get to something that feels fluid. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. Alright, so I think that'll do it for this episode. I will meet you back in Autumnshade Clearing for the next episode, and we'll see where this conflict takes us. And
I presume you're bothering me for a good reason.
I think you're the one bothering me, lady. I'm just standing here. We'll see where this conflict goes, and where Araelas' story kind of takes us. We've been coasting. Things have been going well for a long time. I kind of feel like a little bit of turbulence awaits Araelas ahead. So on that cliffhanger, I will let you guys go. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Until next time, do well, and see you soon. Bye.